Hey guys, and welcome back to Justiffstarot. I am Tiff, and I'm going to be doing your collective message for today. If you are new here, welcome. If you're coming back, thank you. And if this popped up on your timeline, then I'm pretty sure there is a message in here for you. So just make sure you listen to the end. And this is a collective message. The collective is all of us. It's me, it's you, it's everybody. So you're gonna hear different messages for different people, different energies for different people. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. If you hear something that might be for you, just listen closely. Listen, use your discernment, use it, use it, and don't leave here more confused than you came. Okay? Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and just get a feel for the energy. The song that is kind of ringing in my head, I cannot think something McDonald. I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore, and I'm just like, who? Mm-mm, mm-mm, they will never be the same again. Mm. Let me see what the energy is. So I don't know who that's for. I don't know if somebody is listening to it. I don't know if that's you feeling like you feel real different about somebody. I don't know if that. Let me. What's going on? What's the energy? Ace of Sword, clarity. I'm not taking all those. All right. So we got Ace of Sword, Page of Sword, Ten of Cups. Ooh. Yes, yes. Get your clarity. So what this is telling me is that one, somebody that song gave somebody clarity. Um And this is also telling me that somebody is getting clarity on what their definition of love looks like. And not love in the sense of like, I love you, you love me, right? But in the sense of what family looks like, what harmony looks like, what peace looks like. That's Bear. Say hello to Bear. Um So someone right now is getting a very clear picture on what love looks like. So what that also implies to me is that they're coming from a place where maybe you're coming from a place where you didn't have maybe a clear image on what family even looked like, as far as family structure, as far as what family could look like for you. Let me get a little bit more on the Ace of Sword. What's going on with the cards today? What's going on with the cards today? King of Pentacles in the upright. Somebody about their money right now, but is suffering from a little bit of emotional insecurity, which could have given someone a very clear idea on why a family structure didn't maybe work out. Four of Pentacles could involve saving money. So what this is telling me, as far as what the energy, like what are we feeling right now, what's going on right now in the collective energy, this could be you, this could be for anyone. The King of Pentacles is not necessarily a man or woman. Y'all know how I am. It could be a damn frog, I don't care. But it's somebody who is in a leadership position, somebody who is focused on how to obtain wealth in the right way, someone who is very generous with the I don't even say money, because it can be earthly things, right? They could be generous with their energy, they could be generous with the time that they give, they could be generous, you could be generous with any of those things. But what this is also telling me is that somebody was suffering, maybe you, maybe someone around you was suffering from a little bit of maybe emotional immaturity, maybe childish behavior, and that heavily impacted the structure of how the family was able to work out. The Four of Pentacles, saving money, kind of in like a scarcity mindset. So that is definitely that can absolutely impact how, if you are only focused on being the financial provider, and what this is also telling me is that it could be children involved, just because I'm seeing kids in the 10 of cups and the page of cups. It could be a kid that maybe is acting out a little bit from an emotional standpoint. Could be somebody who could be a child who has suffered a few disappointments based on what's been happening in the family, and now you're trying to figure out how to restructure that, how to restructure yourself around that. But what this is telling me is that you have to not, no, you, if this is for you, then what an important part of building a family from the ground up includes emotional maturity from anyone who has the ability to understand what emotional maturity is. There we go. All right, show me the 10 of cups. Who is, can I get some on the tentacle? Oh. So we got Ace of Wands reversed, 3 of Wands reversed, 3 of Pentacles in the upright. So the what could have also broken down the family structure could have been, it could have been a breakdown at work. It could have been a lack of creativity in a teamwork setting. So if you have somebody who is primarily focused on the money, and then you have somebody who is primarily focused on like the emotional well-being or the mental health, then it's not going to be a cohesive unit, because somebody is always focused on this and somebody's always focused on this, and you're not really meeting in the middle. So what this is telling me is that there was some type of blocked energy around the teamwork that should have been in the foundation for kind of building this family unit. What this is also telling me, and y'all know, my ding-a-ling card, my ding-a-ling card. So that also tells me that perhaps there was a block in sexual activity, a block in passion. So maybe not even sexual activity, because you can have sex and not be present in the sex. You can have sex with your body and not be present in mind and not be present in spirit, right? So what this is telling me is that on a spiritual level, maybe somebody wasn't as involved in the partnership as they could have been. If this is for you, then what I would strongly suggest, actually, let me look at, before I suggest anything, because it ain't my job to suggest anything. Let me look at the blockages. What was kind of, since we have kind of a history of what the energy is, what's blocking us from moving forward? 2 of Cups. All right. Moon reversed. 6 of Cups reversed. Okay, so immediately this tells me that somebody has a fear of aligning within themselves. So when I see the 2 of Cups, this definitely suggests a partnership. But what this can also suggest, a 9:11 on the clock. So I need to wrap this up. What this also suggests is that because there was no alignment within yourself, so you didn't find the balance between your masculine and feminine, and what that also means is you struggle to find the balance between being the financial provider and the emotional healer or the emotional provider, right? Because this is in the upright, it shows that it's present, but because the moon is next to it, it shows that there is kind of confusion around it. You don't really know how to dip into it. You don't really know how to balance it out. And then what I'm seeing as far as the 6 of Cups in reverse is, this is kind of like a toxic, maybe even a childhood pattern. So the inability to be able to connect with your emotions could be something that stemmed from your childhood. Could be something that you learned from a masculine or a feminine around you. It could have been something that you haven't been able to let go in order to be able to move your family structure forward, if that makes sense for anyone. All right, let me get a little bit on this. Let me get a little bit on the 2 of Cups. I got Judgment reversed and Three of Swords reversed. So Judgment reversed lets me know that there is some type of avoidant behavior. Somebody's maybe having some self-doubt about how to balance. Somebody is also maybe ignoring something very, very big that could balance out what's happening. When I see the Judgment in reverse, it means somebody made a for me it means somebody made a bad judgment call, right? And they're getting some type of consequence as a result of that bad judgment call. The bad judgment call definitely includes a broken heart, but with it in reverse, what it looks like is that you're moving on at least from the broken heart part of it. And because it's touching on the moon, what that's showing me is you're at least trying to release that portion of your fear. So your blockages, from what I'm seeing right now, in summary, for whoever may need it, if you are in a partnership, there was no real teamwork, and the blockage from that was either your inability or perhaps the other person's inability to be able to balance out self, right? You have to be able to balance out yourself. You have to be able to be whole, right? There's kind of this misconception that someone else should make you whole. That is how we set ourselves up for failure, right? Whenever you are in a partnership, you want to try to come as whole, and nobody's going to come like one. We all have been hurt. We got little holes all through us. But the purpose is to come as whole as possible and join forces with someone instead of creating a codependent dynamic where you're focused on filling each other's holes. You should be focused on filling your own holes, and then when those holes are filled, you kind of come together and work towards, all right, how do we do this in the family? How do we partner up? How do we get a solid foundation? But without being able to center yourself, know yourself, focus on yourself, balance yourself, it just creates a lot of confusion in the dynamic. What is our advice? We got the World. Got the whole world in your hands. You got the whole world in your hands. You got the Five of Pentacles. Hermit reversed. All right. So what this is telling me as far as your advice is for the Five of Pentacles to be what is in the center. This could be your advice would be perhaps to focus your attention on celebrating the parts of your life that don't contribute, that aren't touching the things that you lost. So celebrate the good parts of your life. Celebrate the things that are within your control. Celebrate the things that that bring you joy that aren't necessarily of monetary factor. Just because in this world that we live in, where we place so much pressure on how our joy is connected to finances and money and this, that, the fourth, and the other. This is telling me, especially if you're showing up as King of Pentacles without that balance, what this is showing me is that you need to find some type of wholeness with reconnecting to the parts of your childhood that you lost, which kind of brought you into this space of being this over, I won't say over dominant, but I will say someone who is primarily focused, very, very disciplined. I don't even want to, I want to say rigid for some. So that's for somebody. Someone could look at you as being rigid. And you would be someone who is rigid if you haven't been able to connect with your emotions, if you haven't been able to kind of heal those childhood wounds. So with the Hermit in reverse, definitely, if you are in isolation right now, if you are somebody who is by yourself, get out of isolation. You can go to a park, you can go to a fair. It is warm outside, it is hot in some places. Go in the evening. Go in the evening. Where I'm at, it is 100 degrees during the day, baby. Go in the evening. Don't pass out, okay? What I'm going to do is also get a little bit of advice from the oracles. But yeah, this is definitely looking like for someone out there who is the financial provider for their family, and perhaps the family might be going through a trying time right now. You might be looking at maybe separation. You could be looking at perhaps not even separation, but maybe some miscommunications in the household, some increase in arguments, some increase in confusion. it's because of the it could be because of the balance within yourself or even your partner, the balance within them. And if you have no ability to sense kind of, if you can't intuit feelings, if you can't have that emotional connection with somebody, then it is going to cause a little chaos in the teamwork, especially if this is in the reverse. Listen, really, what I need y'all to do is go ahead and get this up. Hey man, what's the advice? 'Cause that's not gonna be for everybody. Cause I don't want everybody out here. Okay, that ain't my advice. That's okay. That's for some. That's for y'all who are in divine partnerships. And okay, I don't want everybody out here just slinging it in it, because that's how you end up. Never mind. Justice. So get ready for good things you've been hoping for. You were born for a higher calling. Put your energy into going towards your ambitions, and the universe will align itself to provide you with the right people, circumstances, and resources to make things happen. Okay, I like that. Anything else? Spiritual awakening. I feel like this has been coming. This is a thick. For spiritual awakening to keep coming out, I think what this is also saying is just as a collective, a lot of us are, and especially with the judgment in reverse, a lot of the collective are missing the call, right? You get a lot of signs in your life that say you need to change, you need to shift, you need to pivot. And if you are not aware to the things that you need to change, and even accept that there are things about you that need to change, then it can block. It can mess up your family. It can mess up the work that you have around you, because even with the Three of Pentacles, you could just be having strife at work. So if you are being called through a spiritual awakening is just a process of growth. It's a process of growing up. And if I know a lot of the spiritual, whatever you got to phrase it as to grow your ass up, do it. Like whatever you gotta concoct in your mind to get you to the finish line, get yourself to the finish line. If you don't want to call it a spiritual awakening, you just want to call it growing the hell up, which is essentially what a spiritual awakening is. It's just growing the hell up and accepting things for what they are instead of what you want them to be. That's all you. There goes. Boom. All right, y'all. If you made it this far into the reading, I certainly do appreciate you. Please be sure to hit the like and the subscribe and turn your notification bells on so that you don't miss the next reading. Thank you so much for your support. If you are returning and if you're new here, subscribe. See y'all on the next one. Bye.